Welcome back to our continuous coverage of Lata Mangeshkar, the iconic singer, someone who's unparalleled in the amount of work that she has produced and also the brilliance of her music. The last rites of Lata Mangeshkar are to be performed at the Shivaji Park. These are live visuals that are coming in from Shivaji Park. We expect the final rites to be performed in another half an hour from now. And the dignitaries from the world of politics, from the film fraternity, have all come to Shivaji Park. You're looking at the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, seated there. We also expect the Indian Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, who's also making his way to Shivaji Park as we speak. Apart from this, Asha Bhosle has also arrived at Shivaji Park. Many other celebrities from the world of films have also made their way to the Shivaji Park to pay their last respects. So you can see Asha Bhosle seated in this ceremony that is to take place in a few moments from now. Of course, you can spot celebrities from the world of Bollywood who've all come for the final rites, which will be performed in some time from now. Lata Mangeshkar was an icon of the Indian film industry. In the world of music, she was almost unparalleled. Her work stretched from the 1940s, even before India had attained independence, well into the 21st century. And these are the final moments as the city of Mumbai and indeed the whole of India bid goodbye to arguably their favorite singer, who has for so many decades been on top of her game. It is a kind of talent that few have witnessed anywhere in any film industry in any part of the world. A singer who gave her first hit way back in 1945 and continued to sing in films as recently as 2004, and even subsequently, even until 2013, was one of the last songs that she had sung for a film. You can see members of the Maharashtra politics seated in the front rows there. The last rites of Lata Mangeshkar will be performed in some time from now, but this is an end of an era in many ways for the music industry, for the world of Bollywood. And many say that there will never be another Lata Mangeshkar, someone who could sing as well as she did, who had the kind of versatility that Lata Mangeshkar had in being able to deliver the kind of different emotions. And indeed, it has been said that Lata Mangeshkar articulated the emotions of the people of India through her songs, be it the emotion of joy, of sorrow, of love, of sadness. You name the emotion, it was all there. And there was perhaps no emotion that she could not express with the beauty of her voice. And the songs will remain immortal and forever. And some have said that she was not just a practitioner of music, but she was music herself, in the manner that she was able to put out a whole body of work that is almost unparalleled in its expanse and breadth. But the central government has declared 2 days of national mourning, and the state government in Maharashtra has said that tomorrow will remain a holiday to mourn the death of Lata Mangeshkar. And also the tricolour during the time of national mourning will fly at half-mast as a mark of respect for the Bharat Ratna awardee who has mesmerized Indian audiences for decades with her soulful and almost hypnotic voice. And also on the 6th and the 7th of February, there will be no official public entertainment programs in the state. Now, these are the final moments before Lata Mangeshkar's final rites will be performed in some time from now in the city of Mumbai. And you can, of course, see many people from the world of film industry who are already seated there, and also Asha Bhosle, the sister of Lata Mangeshkar, also seated along with the other dignitaries there. So as dusk begins to fall and light begins to fail in the city of Mumbai, India will be bidding adieu to arguably one of its most loved singers of all time, Lata Mangeshkar, who delivered hit after hit, decade after decade, who stayed relevant, and not just relevant, but in fact at the top of her game. Someone who mesmerized audiences generation after generation. People talk of their grandfathers hearing the music of Lata Mangeshkar and then hearing Lata Mangeshkar sing for actresses in their youth and in their prime. And that is the span of time for which Lata Mangeshkar, of course, continued to sing for over 8 decades. She started her journey as a 13-year-old and delivered her first hit back in the year 1945, even before India had attained its independence. And of course, continued to sing in films as late as 2013 or as early as 2013. And that is the expanse of her work, which is quite remarkable in terms of the variety and in terms of the emotions that it expressed. And many people, of course, have pointed out that the people of India experience their emotions through the music of Lata Mangeshkar. And this is the crowd that we're looking at, that has assembled at Shivaji Park to witness the last moments and also to pay their last respects to Lata Mangeshkar, who, of course, will be cremated, we're given to understand, by about 6:30 p.m. So the politicians, Raj Thackeray is also to be seen there, Uddhav Thackeray, the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, to be seen there, and there are many other prominent politicians, both from the central government and also from the state government in Maharashtra, who have all assembled at the Shivaji Park. Apart from this, many celebrities from the world of cinema are also there. We're given to understand that Shah Rukh Khan is also present to pay his last respects. You can see a number of different political leaders. Sharad Pawar is seen seated there, and there are many other politicians and political figures and members from the film industry who are, of course, here to pay their last respects to the legendary singer of Indian cinema. She sang in over 36 different languages, and the work ethic that Lata Mangeshkar brought, not just at the time when she was starting off, but even at a time when she was an established singer, is almost unparalleled. Many of the people who worked with Lata Mangeshkar have said as to how much she emphasized upon pronouncing every single word, irrespective of the language that she was singing in, to pronounce it exactly in the manner that the word had to be pronounced. And that was the work ethic that took her to unparalleled heights. And of course, there was the God-given talent. It's difficult to imagine as to how an artist can stay relevant for not one generation, not two generations, not 3 generations, but for several generations together. Starting from Madhubala to Nargis to Vijayantimala to actresses like Sharmila Tagore to Zeenat Aman to actresses like Madhuri Dixit and to Preeti Zinta in the 2004 hit film Veer Zara. Lata Mangeshkar was able to give her voice in the music of each of these films to actresses from generations that have been counted. And this is going to be her lasting legacy. And although she is no more with us, her music lives on, and that is what makes Lata Mangeshkar immortal. Her music will always be with her, and it will always captivate and mesmerize and hypnotize audiences, no matter of which generation they are. If anyone has heard the voice of Lata Mangeshkar, some have also described her as the woman with a golden voice, a voice that will stay relevant for all time to come, and there will never be another Lata Mangeshkar after her. And this is the scene presently at the Shivaji Park, where the final rites are to be performed. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi is, of course, expected to make his way to the funeral of Lata Mangeshkar. So an area of about 2,000 square feet of the park has been barricaded for the cremation proceedings, is what an official of the Mumbai civic body has said. And people have been arriving to witness the last rites of Lata Mangeshkar and also to pay their respects since 1 p.m. in the afternoon. Lata Mangeshkar, remember, is a recipient of the Bharat Ratna Award. And many people say that she's not just a Bharat Ratna, but she's a Ratna for the whole world, and indeed for the world of music, no matter who you are, no matter which generation you are from, and where you're listening to Lata Mangeshkar's music, you will fall in love with her music. She was also conferred with the Padma Bhushan and the Dada Saheb Phalke Awards. Lata Mangeshkar was an icon of the Indian cinema, having sung playback for an extensive list of Hindi films. This, of course, is an end of an era as dusk falls and light begins to fade. This is the moment when India will, of course, be laying to rest one of its icons of the film industry and the world of music. Someone who started her singing career when she was just 13 years old and to have continued singing late into her 80s. Lata Mangeshkar in many ways defined what excellence is, and in many ways also set almost impossible targets for other people to follow. Her music is unparalleled. She sung in 36 different languages across many film industries in India, and indeed across many hundreds of films. And this is going to be the lasting legacy of Lata Mangeshkar, an artist who was loved across generations, an artist who managed to make herself relevant and indeed in the top of her game, despite the generations of film stars who came and went. But Lata Mangeshkar, interestingly, remained the constant. From lending a voice to Madhubala in the 1940s and 50s, to Nargis, to so many other actresses, Lata Mangeshkar was an icon unlike any other that we've perhaps had in the film industry. Javed Akhtar there seated with Supriya Sule and also with Raj Thakre, and many dignitaries from the world of films, from the world of business and indeed the world of politics. They've all come down to Shivaji Park to bid their final adieu to one of India's proudest daughters who produced such incredible music that has captivated and enthralled audiences across generations. So Lata Mangeshkar's voice is the voice that has defined Indian music for generations, and her legacy is almost unparalleled. And all her admirers, not just in India. Remember, she was not someone who was respected and listened to in just India, but indeed around the world. And she will continue to rule the hearts of people through her music. And this, of course, will be her lasting legacy, where through the power of that mellifluous, that melodious voice, she was able to in fact influence. And in many ways, the story of Lata Mangeshkar was also the story of India. Starting off her career before the time of India's independence in 1947, she of course continued through the highs and the lows that India went through and gave expression to the feelings that Indians felt. She was the voice that made Indians, a billion Indians, to love, to hope, express their sorrows, their joys, and this will remain her lasting legacy. And Lata Mangeshkar was one such rare artist who was able to deliver hit after hit, generation after generation through the decades. And that, of course, is going to be a legacy that Lata Mangeshkar leaves behind from her.
माननीय उपमुख्यमंत्री माननीय चंद्रबाबू पवार मंत्रिमंडळातील सर्व मंत्रीगण माननीय शरदचंद्र पवार.
And also the song that Lata Mangeshkar sang for the very first time in 1963. That is the song that is reverberating in the background at Shivaji Park. "Ae mere watan ke logon, O people of my land. Zara yaad karo qurbani." Remember the sacrifices that have been made of the martyrs who laid down their lives for our mother India. This was a song that she had sung in 1963 in the aftermath of the war with China. And there were thousands of people who were present at the National Stadium, and also the Indian Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was also present, and he was moved to tears with the beauty of this song that so eloquently and so mesmerizingly captured the emotion that so many millions felt across the length and breadth of the country.
दिदींच्या या स्वरांच्या आठवणीच्या शिदोरीवरच पुढचं आयुष्य सतत करणार आहे. कारण त्यांचे स्वर आणि स्वर भारतातील
So these are the scenes, the latest from the Shivaji Park in Mumbai, where the final rites will be performed of Lata Mangeshkar, an icon of Indian cinema, an icon of Indian music. She's passed away early this morning at the age of 92, having started her film career at the tender age of just 13. Remember, Lata Mangeshkar was, of course, born in the year 1929, and she was the eldest of 5 siblings. Amongst them were also singer Asha Bhosle, who's also present right now at the Shivaji Park to pay the last respects for her elder sister. The father of Lata Mangeshkar was Pandit Dinanath Mangeshkar, who gave young Lata Mangeshkar her very first music lessons. Now in 1942, that is when her father had died. The 13-year-old Lata Mangeshkar had begun her career in music, juggling singing with acting parts, small parts in Marathi films. And then came the year 1945. Remember, we're talking about a time when India was still being ruled by the British. This is pre-independence time. And it was in the year 1945 that Lata Mangeshkar gave her very first hit in the song Aayega Aane Wala from the film Mahal, starring Madhubala. And from there on, Lata Mangeshkar's voice and career, of course, soared to heights that perhaps no other artist, no other musical artist in India has ever witnessed. She sang the raga-based compositions by Naushad in films like Baiju Bawra, Mother India and Mughal-e-Azam, and Shankar and Jaikishan's melodic hits in Barsat and Shri 420. Salil Chaudhry's lilting tracks in the film Madhumati won her the Filmfare Award for Best Female Playback Singer. 3 more Filmfare Awards came by the way of 20 Saal Baad, Khandan and Jeene Ki Raah. These are the films which actually got her the accolades. And Lata Mangeshkar, remember, had won 3 national awards for the Best Female Playback Singer for the films Parichay, Kora Kagas and Lekin. And the other memorable films to her credit included the likes of Pakiza, Abhiman, Amar Prem, Andhi, Silsila, Chandni, Sagar, Rudali, Dilwale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Veer Zara, and on and on and on. This is the body of work that Lata Mangeshkar, the singer who has passed away early this morning at 8:12 a.m., has in fact left behind us. It is this legacy that makes Lata Mangeshkar immortal. Many describe her as the golden voice that for generations articulated the feelings of the people of India. And also amongst Lata Mangeshkar's most iconic of the songs is the patriotic composition "Ae Mere Watan Ke Logon," the song that commemorated the Indian soldiers who died in the 1962 war with China. It was performed for the very first time on the occasion of Republic Day at the National Stadium in New Delhi. Lata Mangeshkar sang it live in the presence of President S. Radhakrishnan and Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, the then Prime Minister of India. And there were thousands of people who were present in the audience. And along with Pandit Nehru, there were many, many of the audience who broke out in tears listening to the beautiful composition and the beautiful rendering of the song by Lata Mangeshkar. This, of course, is an end of an era in more ways than one. Lata Mangeshkar, the queen who had ruled the hearts of so many music lovers, someone who came up with one hit after another, with one iconic song after another. These are songs that went on to define generations of Indians who grew up listening to them. Many people have been speaking about how the songs sung by Lata Mangeshkar were the songs that their grandfathers used to listen to. And it is astonishing, it is an incredible feat that despite her advancing years, Lata Mangeshkar was someone who was able to cross the barrier of generations, was able to cross the barrier of the many decades and still stayed relevant.
लता मंगेशकर यांना अखेरचं अभिवादन देण्यासाठी आज भारताचे माननीय पंतप्रधान
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.